Students, families, faculty, welcome to our annual celebration of the academic excellence and achievement, the induction into the Williston Northampton chapter of the Cum Laude Society. The ceremony unfolding today honors a select few students, those who have consistently combined a devotion to learning with timeless values of intellectual curiosity and integrity. But our celebration today, as has been true throughout the whole calendar year, occurs amid a global health pandemic that has claimed untold lives of our citizens. And so it is against this sober backdrop that I wish to begin by acknowledging the challenges and pain so many have endured. I know that even as we conduct our busy lives teaching, coaching, advising, and mentoring, all of us at Williston extend our support and thoughts to all of our Williston families. While today rightly belongs to students gathered before me, I want to share a few remarks about your teachers. Williston's teachers are heroes. They have risen to the historic challenge of teaching in a pandemic. They have taught classes from their homes with their children running around helter-skelter. They have taught in the early mornings to accommodate global time zones, reimagined athletics without competitions, held choir rehearsals outside. I could name any number of instances where the faculty have sacrificed to keep Williston a safe, open, and thriving community for students from this country and all over the world. Students, you have been witnesses to history for an entire year of your young lives. Last year, I noted that there would always be a before and after demarcated by COVID-19. Almost to the day, 1 year ago, the United States had its first diagnosed case of the coronavirus. And now, the beginning of the end is indeed in our grasp, thanks to a worldwide scientific effort that has developed multiple vaccinations. We celebrate you today, in person, though without the usual applause and support of your peers that fill this wonderful Stevens Chapel. We also honor you on the same day as the nation inaugurates the 46th President of the United States, after a historically disrupted and violent transfer of power. Who among you will become historians writing about these times? Which of you, inspired by the heroic efforts of the medical community, will go on to become doctors and epidemiologists, or community organizers who address the economic inequities exposed by this crisis? Students being honored today, and by extension your peers whom you so admirably represent, are given the gift of a Williston education, with which we hope you will pursue your intellectual passion in the service of the greater good. We applaud you for your sustained academic excellence in the face of unimagined disruptions. You have been witness to history, and you are well equipped to change the world and be makers of history. It is my pleasure to introduce Secretary of the Williston Northampton School Cum Laude Society, Mr. Tom Johnson.
Good afternoon. We gather today to honor 12 seniors whom we will induct into the Cum Laude Society, the highest academic award that the Williston Northampton School faculty can bestow. In celebrating such academic excellence, we celebrate our fundamental mission to inspire students to live with scholarly purpose, intellectual passion, and personal integrity. The Cum Laude Society is a national honor society modeled on Phi Beta Kappa. Williston Academy joined the society in 1921. The Northampton School for Girls received its charter in 1951. And in 1971, the society granted the merged Williston Northampton School a new charter. All of us gathered here can take inspiration from the three ancient Greek words that form the motto of Cum Laude: arete, meaning excellence; dike, meaning justice; and time, meaning honor. Excellence, justice, and honor can characterize the life each of us chooses to lead, and the faculty applaud everyone here who strives to live a life so inspired. Moreover, we thank your families. We hope they will enjoy today as a reflection of their influence upon your lives. Please remember that to thank all of those people who have helped you grow your roots and your wings. As we nurture your curiosity and persistence in the search for truth, beauty, and justice, you have taught us much about language and art, about math and science, about history and philosophy and faith, and above all, about a love of learning. Because we live in uncertain times, your effort matters. You remind us that learning remains a fundamentally progressive, optimistic, and democratic enterprise. In you we witness what can be accomplished by a wonderful mixture of human potential and hard work. And we catch a glimpse of a brighter future. May you embrace the opportunity to improve an ever-changing world. As I call your name, please come forward to receive your membership pin and certificate from the stand before you. Then you may return to your seat. Anfisa Bogdanenko. Shenyi Aaron Chai. Liam Coughlin. Lauren Goldinger. Sophie Gondog Calderon. Jonathan Felix King. Molly Kinsel. Na Kyung Lee. Ruby McLeon Yates. Anna Richardson. Abigail Shulkin. Nikhil Sierros. Please stand and turn to Miss Beatrice Cody, President of the Williston Northampton School Chapter of the Cum Laude Society, for your formal induction.
Your exemplary record in academics and citizenship has earned for you membership in the Cum Laude Society. This society is a fellowship of scholars whose purpose is to recognize excellence in academic work. It is our sincere hope that you will accept the honor of membership as a responsibility to strive for similar excellence in all future endeavors. And along the way, to contribute to finding solutions to some of the major challenges facing your generation and our world. On behalf of the faculty, I want to thank you for your consistently strong effort. As you have pursued your goals, you have inspired your classmates and teachers. By the authority duly granted me, it is with great pride and pleasure that I welcome you into the Williston Northampton chapter of the Cum Laude Society. Congratulations. And now I'd like to invite Mr. Hill back to the podium to say a few more words, introducing our guest speaker.
Congratulations, inductees. I first met our speaker today in one of my early years as head of school at Williston when I traveled to Hong Kong for our annual trip, keeping Williston connected to its alumni. There's some truth to the cliche that first impressions are hard to shake, and my first impression of our alumnus Ronald Chan, Williston class of 2004, was something between awe and fascination. I was fascinated by the position he held with the government and awed by the fact that a person his age had achieved so much. But like each of you, Ronald Chan is no stranger to quantum leaps. After completing, I like to think launched, by his Williston education, Ronald attended Stanford University, where he holds 2 degrees. In 2010, the Hong Kong government appointed him special assistant to the chief executive. In that capacity, he served as the government's public communications liaison with legislators, journalists, and the community. In 2012, he became the political assistant to the Secretary of Constitutional and Mainland Affairs. He was promoted 3 years later to the position of Undersecretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs, and Ronald played a major role in the government's 2-year endeavor to introduce universal suffrage. Ronald recently completed a degree at Harvard's Kennedy School, and he's returned to his home city of Hong Kong as he continues his impactful journey. It is a personal pleasure to welcome back for your cum laude address, Mr. Ronald Chan.
Hello, fellow members of the Williston community. Thank you for inviting me to be the guest speaker at the Cum Laude Society induction ceremony. Although COVID has made it impossible for me to be physically on campus now, I'm glad that I can join this happy occasion virtually. So let me begin by congratulating all the inductees. Your hard work has paid off, and you have every reason to be proud of your accomplishments. I also want to congratulate all the parents, family members, teachers, classmates, and friends who have been supporting the inductees along the way. I'm sure you share the happiness and will celebrate their success. I always recall my time at Williston fondly because my 2-year boarding experience at the school really transformed me for the better. I decided to pursue an education overseas, not because my parents wanted me to, but because as a 16-year-old then, I was extremely curious to find out what was on the opposite side of the globe. When I first started at Williston, there was no non-stop flight between Hong Kong and the east coast of America. So I had to fly from Hong Kong to Vancouver, then to New York, then a domestic flight to Bradley Airport, and then finally a 1-hour car ride to East Hampton. From my bedroom in Hong Kong to my dorm room on campus, the journey took about 30 hours. But I had no doubt that it was all worth it, because of the trips to East Hampton and the many others that took me to different parts of America. I got to really appreciate the immense richness of the world we live in. Hong Kong and East Hampton could not have been more different. Naturally, I found it a little intimidating to be in an alien place at first. But there was no better way to understand a foreign culture than fully immersing oneself in it. By living together, going to classes together, and playing sports together, I gradually overcame the cultural and language barrier and got to bond with many classmates from the US and around the world. We shared our stories of success and struggle. We argued over different points of view. We talked about major world developments as well as the little things in our lives. In the process, I made lots of lifelong friends whom I still connect with and learn from even to this date. It helped me build confidence in handling unfamiliar situations. And it gave me so many interesting and brand new perspectives on things that I had used to simply take for granted. But knowing more about the outside world was not the only benefit. I was able to learn a lot more about myself too as a result of studying abroad. The education system in Hong Kong at the time tended to reward only academic excellence and accord relatively little recognition on non-academic achievements. There was also a general expectation for students with good grades to pursue professional careers like law and medicine. If I had continued to study in Hong Kong, I probably would have ended up being a doctor. Well, nothing wrong with that. In fact, that was precisely my aspiration when I first came to Williston. But the American education system was quite different. It gave students more freedom to experiment. It encouraged kids to try the best, not just in classrooms, but also in sports and extracurricular activities. It was at Williston where my athletic pursuits developed into a long-lasting passion that is now a big part of my life. It was also at Williston where I not only took many science classes, but also had the opportunity to learn more about languages, critical writing, and the humanities. The diversity of that education helped me recognize new interests and talents previously unknown to me. It paved the way for my studying public policy at college and to go into politics and public service after graduation. I'm really grateful that I was able to study abroad and gain experience that I would never have otherwise. If I had chosen to stay in the comfort of my home, my life trajectory would have been very different, probably more conforming and less interesting. Because of my own personal experience, I'm convinced that being broad-minded and creating a global community is a worthwhile cause. And I hope all of us will recognize the value of connecting with people coming from a variety of backgrounds. You will go on to become leaders of your respective industries and communities. So your willingness to support the building of networks that cut across cultures and geographical boundaries will have a direct, positive, and lasting impact on not only yourself, but also many of those around you. This is getting all the more relevant and important because we are now living in an environment where we tend to stay within our own echo chambers created by social media, and where many political leaders actively call for erecting more barriers and shutting ourselves off from the rest of the world in the name of national interests. This cannot be a good thing, and it is incumbent upon every one of us to try to reject and reverse this trend. But you may be thinking, well, I'm just a student. How can I possibly reverse a worldwide trend? As a matter of fact, you don't need to be a senior government official or a corporate executive to play a role. We can all do our parts to touch the lives of one another in a positive way by promoting the mutual respect, understanding, and exchanges that underpin any global community. Well, let me offer 3 simple suggestions. First, we can start by resisting the temptation to characterize someone you don't know or pigeonhole a foreign place before you have a chance to find out more. In this era of social media, lots of posts and tweaks are generated with the explicit intention to either glorify people who look like us or to demonize those who don't. Even when mainstream social media outlets try to cover international affairs in good faith, the news reports still come with the journalist's own biases. So next time you come across a commentary that casts another place in negative light, try not to jump to conclusions or let it become your preconceived notion of that place. Over time, you may realize that most questions in life are matters of degree and not so black and white. Second, make a genuine effort to see and experience the world, either directly or through somebody else. When international travel resumes, explore with your family the option of spending the next summer vacation in a continent you've never visited before. When you get to college, study abroad for a semester, if not a full year. And here on campus, reach out to international students and try to learn more about different aspects of their home countries. I'm sure you'll be amazed by what you see and hear. And third, try to introduce some global dimensions to your work in the future. No doubt you'll be asked to do many research assignments during your time at Williston or in college. Identify and pick some assignments that involve doing research from a comparative perspective so that you can examine a topic in both local and foreign contexts. They will allow you to have a deeper, more honest look into the world. When you need to form a project team, go beyond your routine social circle. Invite and include classmates or colleagues who are different from you in terms of race, ethnicity, citizenship, or background. These cross-cultural or cross-boundary interactions will often spark new ideas and insights that will pleasantly surprise you. Let me thank you again for the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you today. And congratulations once again to the cum laude inductees. I wish you all good luck and good health in the new year. Please stay well. I look forward to being able to return to campus before too long so we can meet and catch up in person.
Mr. Chan's remarks did not alter my first impression of awe and fascination. And thank you, Ronald, for being part of this important ceremony under such historic times. Connecting across thousands of miles seems particularly apt for the class of 2021 as they look to a future changed by circumstances, but filled with possibility and hope that individuals really can and do make a difference in the lives of others. I wish we could all gather at the head's house for our usual reception, but absent that, Mrs. Hill joins me in congratulating you and your families one last time. This concludes the Williston Northampton School Cum Laude induction ceremony.